Press the mouth, and how much meat are we talking about?
So you're looking to put anywhere from 300 to 400 pounds into your freezer, take home meat.
Wow. Okay.
Which is perfect for, we're a family of 4, mom, dad, and 2 boys.
There you go.
And it's perfect for the year.
Today's video is going to be fantastic. We've got some great things that we want to show you that we got to experience at the Mother Earth News Fair here in Albany over the weekend. First of all, I'm going to be showing you a rather boring video, but it's got some great information about Dexter cows.
It's just boring in the beginning, and it's not boring at all.
No, it's solid information.
You just talk monotone.
I was tired. It was a long, hot day. It was.
And he was all by himself. I wasn't there to bring enthusiasm into his life.
I'm impressed with Dexter cows. It was great to see them. They seem like fantastic animals.
So you're going to see a little bit of Dexter cow.
Little bit. So, hey, every little bit helps. We all learn as we go. The other thing I'm going to be talking to you about is Patricia Foreman. I got to go we went to 2 of her classes.
So let me talk about the first one.
Yep.
The first one, she made some mayonnaise, and it was amazing. And she brought 5 different kinds of oils that she uses: grapeseed or avocado, walnut, sesame, extra virgin olive oil, and she makes sure that they're always cold pressed. And
it was like a 3-minute recipe, right? I mean,
it's so easy.
A fast recipe for mayonnaise.
Then I made it for you, but that's when I'm dubbing over my voice, so.
Technical difficulties, but it's going to be fantastic.
So, yes. So that's going to be, so first we're going to have the cow, then we're going to have the mayonnaise and a little bit of her, and she took a picture with us. She was very, very nice. And then we're going to let Jim close that out.
This was actually the last session of the day, and they had Patricia Foreman talking about chicken processing. Now, we've seen a lot of chicken processing. We've been through it bunches of times. I thought, yeah, I'm still going to go because I'd read about her. She's fantastic. She's very knowledgeable. I thought, maybe I can learn something. Well, as it turns out, what's happened in the past chicken processing presentations that they've had at Mother Earth News Fair, they've had, big guns there to do it, and they had their $6,000 worth of processing equipment, and so they're showing it. It's a great show. It's fun. It's very informative. People really love it. Then they go home and they say, well, yeah, that's great, but I can't afford $6,000 to take care of these handful of chickens that I have. It just doesn't make sense. So it's not really applicable to them. So Mother Earth News Fair approached Patricia and asked her, could you put one together that is more applicable for the backyard farmer, the folks who are doing a small amount, who are going to need to process using the things they have around their home already, so they don't have to go spend a large amount of money. So that was the approach that she made, which is great. So she showed how to do that, and it helps, and it's very beneficial. What I picked up from her, though, were a couple of things that I haven't picked up before, and I'll be able to tell you more about those, that whether you have the equipment or don't have equipment are very helpful. So I'm going to take some time and tell you the details about how she says to do it on your small scale without having to spend a wad of money to be able to process a few chickens. So here I am at the Dexter cows, this farm. I'm going to get the name again. What is it? I'll get the name. But they're from Castle Rock, Washington, just a little bit north of us in Washington State. They've been doing Dexters for about 12 years. They have a little bull and then a little heifer. She's about a year old, so she's not quite ready to be having the calves in another 6 months or so, and they're going to start putting them with the bull to see. But fascinating. I hadn't realized the size of them. They're a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be. So it looks like a very manageable kind of cow. She's saying when with this particular set of cows that she has, that when they're with calves, she's sharing with the calf, she gets about 3/4 of a gallon per day from the cow, which is really fantastic when you think about it. So I'm going to do a little bit more video of what they got here and show you what's going on.
Okay, that's good. We still got a few minutes, but I'm here, you're here, got questions.
about the Dexters? What's the most impressive things that keeps you committed to them?
So I really enjoy that they are so small, and it's the dual purpose, so 2 in 1. So we have a meat and milk animal in one instead of having to have 2.
Okay.
So we can keep our family in fresh milk and have fresh homegrown beef on the table.
So when you dress them out, then how much meat are we talking about?
So you're looking to put anywhere from 300 to 400 pounds into your freezer, take-home meat.
Wow. Okay.
Which is perfect for, we're a family of 4, mom, dad, and 2 boys.
There you go.
And it's perfect for the year. We're not having to worry about with a big animal, a full-size animal, having to split it with somebody, and we have enough freezer space.
Yeah, you're in good shape. Now, you told me earlier that you're able to get like 3/4 of a gallon of milk per day sharing with the calf.
We're looking at anywhere from 3/4 of a gallon to 2+ gallons a day sharing with the calf, depending on the age of the mom, her first lactation or 5th lactation, that kind of stuff.
And I didn't get your name. It's Rusty Ranch Farm, right?
Lacey.
Lacey, okay. Yes. Well, Lacey, fantastic. I appreciate the information. And there's a Dexter in our future, I know it.
Perfect.
So, thanks a lot.
Yeah, yogurt anyway, because yogurt has whey in it. It's what you're getting after is the lactobacillus, the good probacteria. Now, how many of you have heard of probiotics and prebiotics and all that? Everybody. Yeah. Well, do you know that in your gut there are literally 10 times more, you are the living ecosystem, and there are 10 times more other beings in your body than there are human cells. I mean, we kind of got away from that with all the antibiotics and everything. But what we want to do is we're finding out that about 70% of your immune system comes from your gut. Have you heard that? Yeah.
promised I was going to tell you about Patricia Foreman and how she talked about handling, processing chickens, taking chickens to freezer camp for small flocks. And a lot of things that she pointed out is, first of all, the real need for good food. Such a travesty that goes on out in the, what are you buying when you go to the store? And one of the things that she suggested a lot of people when it comes to processing chickens is say, I don't want to know what's gone on for the chicken to get to my table. And what she says, you know, the better answer is, I do want to know what's going on to get the chicken to my table. Which, when you think about it from a health standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint, yeah, you better know what's going on so that you're getting what you really want, not assuming that you have this nutritious bird that you're going to be able to eat, and it's not. One other thing that multiple things, as she pointed out, what they're seeing as they do the testing on a lot of these birds that are being produced, the ones that are ready in 8 weeks or whatever number of weeks, few weeks, that they're able to go from little chick out of the egg to big monster ready to process. Those that grow so fast, their fat has more energy in it than their meat does. So think about that. You know, if you're eating something, it's the fat that's going to have more energy. That's not, yeah, you need a little bit of fat, but what kinds of fats are they? And that's a total nother question, a total nother ball game, and that's where a lot of the problems are. So these birds are being done quick, but there's not a real, they haven't been developed in order to be nutritious. They've been developed so that they use less total feed and produce more body weight, so you can market them you can sell them for more money. That's their purpose. The heritage breeds, on the other hand, they take months to be ready to process for broiling, and they don't put on the fat. They're going to have a much higher energy count in the meat that's there, plus overall the nutrition is going to be a lot higher. So you got to weigh what you want to do. If this is for you, what do you want? Do you want to produce something fast and put it in your freezer and wait a long time to eat it? Or do you want to produce something slow and perhaps store it as it walks around and continues to scratch and peck and do things in your yard, not really costing you anything, and then when it's come time to process it, it's fresh and it's very nutritious. Simple, seems like to me. So it's a good choice. Some of the other things that she talked about is in the processing process is some of the how-to, and I want to demonstrate it for you. I'm just going to tell you briefly now, and next time we process, I'm going to use what I gleaned from her and show the whole thing, but point out the differences between how we've normally been processing and what she suggested. Obviously, we want to be as stress-free for these birds as we possibly can. So whatever we're doing, we want to design that, and we want to be stress-free because that communicates to the bird. And what a lot of studies are pointing out is that stress actually goes from the situation into the animal, into the meat, when you eat it, into you. And what they're believing is that a lot of these stress hormone things that happen do get communicated through the food chain. So it's very beneficial to have a zero stress, or as close to zero as you can, processing system so that you don't transmit that into the food chain. Very important. So, some of the other significant techniques that she talked about, so many of the descriptions on what to do is for chilling the birds after they are eviscerated, and now we're ready to get them going into the freezer eventually. The typical method is we put them into the chill tank for the 20 minutes, and then we move them to the ice tank for enough time to chill on down. And these are really communal baths, so when you take them out of there, you're getting all of the stuff from whatever number of chickens have been processed, and that's what gets put into the wrapping that you finally put them in, however you end up wrapping. And what she described is that in other countries, and in Europe included, is they don't do this chilling process in the water. They thoroughly clean the chicken with fresh water, and then they will hang it. And they will hang it to go to room temperature, and then gradually move it into colder areas so it drops down gradually. But the simplest way that works very well is you let it cool down to room temperature as it hangs, so that now it's going to be partially dry. You're going to want to protect it some as it's doing that. as well. And she did suggest putting it in the freezer bags, or however it is you're wrapping it to preserve it, and let it hang there as it cools. So whether you let it thoroughly cool before you put it in the freezer bag and protect it in the meantime while it's hanging, or you put it into your freezer bag but let it stay hanging, you're going to let it get down to room temperature. Once it's down to room temperature, then it's placed into your refrigerator for not 1 day like a lot of the instructions say, but 2 to 3 days. And what she's suggesting with that's happening is that in the rigor mortis process is, yeah, they go stiff, but after they set for a while, those muscle fibers relax back down and they become more tender. So to increase the tenderness of the bird, if you let it set long enough, doing this cool down correctly, and then sit in the refrigerator 2 to 3 days, it's definitely going to do the full relaxation, slightly cured, so it's going to be a lot more tender, a lot better for eating. Couple of really great ideas. I thought those were fantastic. Please be watching for the time that we do processing. It's going to be a while. We just did our processing. It'll be towards the spring, but we'll do a thorough video on the processing process using these new techniques and a few other things that we're going to pick up on between now and then.